everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. Today is going to be a kind of chatty get ready with me, and I'm going to talk about some things that you guys wanted to hear about. I asked you guys on my Instagram what sorts of videos you wanted to see. Several of you requested a get ready with me. Several of you requested that it was a chatty get ready with me and left some of your questions. And then I also put up a poll as to what palette you wanted me to use today, and I'm not surprised, but most of you guys voted for this one. This is the Okavango Safari palette from Nomad, and I've used this a few times now. I actually posted a reel yesterday using it, so I'll link that for you guys if you want to see it, but I'm going to try and use shades today that I did not use yesterday in that reel, so I'm excited to use this again. I've been really enjoying it. So I'm hoping that they'll come out with a more like pink toned neutral palette now, because this one has me really excited, but let's jump into it. So I have a few products I've been wanting to use up because they're pretty close to being empty, like this primer from ColourPop. This is the Pretty Fresh one. So I'm going to start out with this. My skin's been really dry lately. Surprise, surprise. It's always really dry. So one of you guys asked about a life update. So I guess we'll just kind of jump in with that. Life is not happy right now for the most part. If you guys missed my life update, go a couple videos back and you will see. But after that loss, I have been having a lot of worse days. They're not as good as others. So I really don't want to get sad in this video because it's just like not going to be helpful for me right now. But overall, like, I guess we're doing okay. It's good to know that of all my fears of how this would have happened, that he passed away happy and with us, and that means a lot to me. So I don't really want to say like much more than that right now because I will just lose it. I wish more than anything that he was still here, but to know that he was in our arms and he was happy until his very last moment just really brings me a lot of peace. So I'm just gonna kind of try and sit with the peace of it. Yeah, but thank you for asking. I do feel like it's getting a little bit better, but it's definitely still extremely tough. But that being said, I really miss YouTube a lot. You guys know I took a break, I guess it was like the end of last year, and then ever since then I felt like I couldn't get back on a schedule. Like I just wasn't really getting back to like how it was, and a lot of that came with my job change, and a lot of, actually, you guys also asked about my job. So I shared with you all about a year ago now that I started a new job, and I love my job. I really do. I'm super happy there. I couldn't have expected to be this happy here and like for it to have all worked out like it did. But at the same time, I have a lot more responsibility than I had at my last job. So at my last job, I had to be there the whole day, of course. Turn the brightness up so I'm not used to sitting in front of the bright light. But at my last job, I had to be there the whole day, but that job was so easy, so mundane. And for a lot of it, I was just kind of like sitting there by myself. I don't really like to share a lot about like that side of my life or like what I do, just to keep some privacy, but I was not happy there really at all at the end of the time that I worked there. So outside of like physically having to be there the whole day, I wasn't using a lot of energy or brain power at all at that job, which is just like not fulfilling to me at all. So that's why I had so much time and energy, it felt like, when I got home, to be able to film and post videos 3 times a week. That's just not gonna happen anymore. Partly because of that, and partly just because like I don't want to be a workaholic and like work all the time. Oh, sorry. By the way, I'm using the Kokie HD foundation. I'm almost out of this one too. It's not that full. It just is like really liquidy. I've got about this much left. I love that foundation, by the way. But now when I get home, you know, I'm tired, and I also want to prioritize spending more time with my family and not always working. So I kind of got in a bad habit. A lot of these like kind of lead together. So you also asked about our small business. So if you were to go on some of my older videos and click the link in the description, it no longer works. So my husband and I decided to close our small business, and we're not really like sad about it. It didn't end up being like what we would have wanted it to be. It was just like, I didn't have the time for it. It was very time consuming. The tax part of it and like the government part of it are really frustrating to deal with. So it just like wasn't something that we were passionate enough about to keep doing. It was taking up like most of our Saturdays, very late nights, all that kind of stuff. We just didn't enjoy it anymore. And we haven't for a long time. I'm going to use the Catrice concealer. I've already taken the stopper out of this one. So again, another product that I'm kind of trying to use up. But yeah, we just weren't enjoying it anymore, and we hadn't been for a long time. We had taken a pretty hefty break from that. And then coming back to it this year as the market started up again near us, we just like were dreading it and didn't enjoy it. And then we were just like, why are we doing this if we're not liking it? So I'm glad that we did it. We learned a lot about having a small business, and I think it will make any future business of ours more successful from the things that we've learned from it. But yeah, we did decide to close that down. So we will be like selling off all of our equipment and things like that, which I'm actually really happy about because our house has felt very cluttered lately and I hate it. So I'm really excited that we'll actually get our office back to be like an office and not a earring making shop. So yeah, I'm actually really happy about that. I got really overwhelmed between my new job and then YouTube and then Shop MKT, our small business. So I'm very glad that that has closed. I still really love my job and I still want to get back into YouTube. I really have missed it so much. This has just always been something that I've wanted to do. It took me a long time to start a channel, but I want to do it more. So that's kind of the update on that. Other than that, I think I just really, the break that I took came at a perfect time because my life was just so busy there for a while. I'm going to use these two Charlotte Tilbury products. I'm just kind of using everything I've been using during the week. So this is the contour wand. I've got the lightest shade. But we decided to kind of take a break around the time I took the break from YouTube at the end of last year. And then ever since then, kind of the reason I haven't been able to get back into YouTube is because I've been spending more time with my family. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm not like not wanting to spend time with them anymore, anything like that, by coming back onto YouTube. But I think that's a big reason why we ended up closing the business as well. There's so many reasons for it. It was frustrating. It's people, the shopping habits of people have also changed a lot. I feel like if you don't want to be online, good luck. That might sound harsh, but like at least for us, it's what we kind of we're seeing is that people in person were kind of like, oh, okay, but they're coming from a market and they probably just came from the grocery store where they dealt with inflation on groceries, and so their bill was a lot higher, and then they don't have money to buy earrings or like things like that. So I also just felt a little bit weird. I feel like a lot of the people that were selling at the markets where we were at were having the same sort of opinion and thing happening to them. So it was just like a lot of stress. It just like, I don't know, it just made me like really unhappy, honestly, and I haven't enjoyed it for a really long time. So yeah, it wasn't for me. I'm really glad that we're not doing that anymore. But by not doing that anymore, we were able to spend a lot more time at home, both of us, with our dogs. And I'm so glad that we did that because looking back on it, you know, when you lose someone, you hear a lot of people say like, I just wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. And I do wish I had more time with Henry. However, I can't have that. That's not possible. So I'm trying to look on the bright side of things. And I'm so grateful that I was home more with him towards the end of his life. I didn't know it was going to be the end of his life, but I was home so much the last several months. And really like the last year in general, I've just been home more, but especially since like last September or October. So I've been home like all the time. So it was just, you know, it's just a little bit bittersweet to think about that, but I'm really glad that I was home with him. I can't say that enough. Like that just, and when you lose someone, no matter who it is, a relative, an animal, a friend, it doesn't matter. Or even if you just see loss around you and it's not particularly someone that you were close to, but you're seeing it, it really puts things into perspective. And I don't want to lose that perspective either, because as sad as I am, it's reminding me to spend more time with my family. So I'm very grateful for that. I've been spending a lot more time at home. With some more positive news, we actually went on vacation. We were out of town for 11 days, and we needed that, to say the absolute least. So we'd had this vacation planned for about a year and a half. Like booked, planned, just ready to go, just waiting for that year and a half to go on the vacation. So we couldn't have timed the trip more perfectly. I was very worried when Henry got sick that we were going to lose him while we were on our trip, and he passed away a few weeks before it, and then the trip was really needed after that, because I just needed to like not be around anywhere and have to have responsibilities, if that makes sense. So it just, I don't know. Yeah, I thought about him every single day. I think about him every single day, basically every minute of every day. He's always in my head. But we went on a vacation and we had a really nice time, all things considered. We just had a really good time. So we went on an Alaskan cruise, and we kind of like traveled a little bit on the way there and a little bit on the way back, just to get to the cruise port and everything. And we made a really nice trip out of it. So that was really good for me and my husband to just like get away, get out of our house, get out of our city, get away from our jobs and everything, except we had to leave Perry for 11 days, our other dog. That was really, really hard, but she did really well. And she like ate all of her meals. She slept through the night, which is really, really good for her. She doesn't really like to not be at her house with us, and this was the longest that we'd ever left her, and she's obviously in the past always had Henry with her, so this was very hard for us to leave her, but we're very happy that she did very well. So just kind of some positive news there. I totally forgot I wanted to use this mixture of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter and the Fenty Slip Shine Lipstick in Cookies and Cocoa. So I just added a little bit on top as like a very glowy blush. I'm kind of into it. We're just going to keep rolling with it. So that's sort of like the overview of a life update as of lately. So lots of ups and downs, definitely a roller coaster. I'm very, very glad that we got to go on that trip though, and that we were able to just really slow down and process things a little bit more and not have to process them at our house. That was honestly just very, very helpful, and I really could not have asked for anything else. Yeah, I'm also very grateful for our friends and family. They've all just really shown out, and you guys included. I'm so grateful for that, and I'm gonna have to stop talking about this because I'm having a really hard time not crying. So yeah, we have gotten just the nicest cards and messages and just gestures of kindness, however that might look, from so many different people, and we could not have done this by ourselves. Like, we could just not have made it through this. So I'm very grateful for all of you guys. So many of you guys, a couple of you even like message me consistently and still now, which is just so thoughtful. So thank you guys. I know you guys are animal lovers too. This has definitely hit very hard. So, okay, let's try and make it a little bit more positive. Here I said I was gonna make a short one, but I'm glad that it's a little bit longer because I'm actually wanting to film. So I feel comfortable just like chilling. So I'm glad about that. I'm also not like actually getting ready, by the way. I'm gonna film probably one other video after this, but like I'm not getting ready for the day. I took my makeup off and showered, and then now I'm filming. So yeah. Someone asked about current favorites and top summer favorites. I think I'll film a whole video about favorites because actually a few of you guys asked about that. So I did want to mention just like a couple of favorite things. I've been really enjoying using like the stuff that's almost gone. I just really need to go through my makeup and like use it up. Okay, I know everyone has been talking about this Tower 28 mascara, but I've been loving it. I'll use it today so you guys can see, but I've been really enjoying that. And then this is like a random favorite. This is a chapstick. This is the Burt's Bees Coconut and Pear Lip Balm. oh my gosh, I don't know what it is. Well, it's the scent. I just love this scent combo. It just smells so good. Now, if you don't like the smell of sunscreen or coconut, which I feel like I just really attribute to the smell of sunscreen, you probably won't like it. But I'm telling you guys, it smells so good. I really like it. I had some foundation on my lips, but I really like this chapstick. And then, okay, the only other favorite that I want to mention today, because like I said, I think I will film another, like a specific video dedicated to that, but I gotta mention this one. This is the Viseart Kashmiri palette. I shared this on my Instagram. This is what I took on the cruise with us, and it was just perfect. Like, it was amazing. It was perfect for everything I needed. I'm obsessed with this shade. This is one of my favorite shades I think I have in my collection, like, ever. I think I want to do a video about that too, like my favorite shades all across the board. But this one was perfect because it has that nice like light matte color. I love that color. I like that it has an inner corner highlight. It's got a liner shade. It's got everything in between. These two colors are actually very versatile. You can mix them to create like a lighter look or a more deep look. All of the shimmers, like, they're perfect. You've got some gold tones, some purple, some more like kind of neutral golds too. And I just love this one. Really, really impressed by it. I thought it was the perfect travel palette. And it's a little dangerous because now I kind of want one of their other ones. But those are the favorites I'll share in this video. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole different video on some other stuff. Okay, I was gonna do brows, but let's go ahead and create the eye look first, I think. So I want to keep it very light and easy. So I'm gonna start out with the shade Towering Drafts on a large crease brush, and I'm just gonna make like a really neutral look. I don't want anything too crazy. This is basically how I start every look though, is with this shade, just kind of all over everything, the crease, the lid, and everything. And then I'm gonna look through your guys' comments and see if there's anything else I should mention. You guys had some really good video suggestions, so thank you for leaving those. I'm definitely going to film as many of these as I can over the next several weeks. A lot of you guys asked for a chatty get ready with me, so I hope that you're enjoying that this one has become more chatty. Okay, I will be filming the half-year update on ranking palettes based on usage. I love that you guys love that series because I've been obsessed with it. I feel like a lot of people I've been seeing doing that, and I'm like, dang, I don't remember this many people doing it, but I love it. I'm so glad to see other people creating that too. Also, Makeup by Linz is so sweet. She said, I love your channel and hope your channel proceeds to grow and get bigger and better, which was just very nice. And she left a lot of suggestions, which I really liked. And a couple of them, I've mentioned a lot of the life updates and things were from her. I think I want to use this Migrating Zebra shade, which is silver. So I'm trying to figure out like what to do with that one, like what else to put with it, because I feel like everything in here is pretty warm, and then you've got the silver shade, so I'm just a little confused as to what I should do. I haven't actually, well, I think I've only used that one once, and it was just to kind of like see how it looked. So I think I'm going to go into the shade Crash of Rhinos, this one here on the bottom corner. I really liked this one when I used it for the look I shared on my reels. But how are you guys doing? Definitely let me know. I feel like I've been kind of out of touch with you guys on Instagram, but I'd love to know how you're doing. And I'm hoping that I will be able to be a little bit more present just on these platforms in general, because I do really miss it. And by it, I mean you guys, because it's definitely because of y'all that I like this. This community is so welcoming and so fun, and I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I definitely want to know how you guys are doing. I feel like I haven't heard very many people say, but the outside of this packaging is like actually like furry. Like it has a fur type feel to it, which is quite interesting, but I mean, I'm not mad about it. I think it's really cool. I love the leopard print on the palette. I've been really obsessed with leopard print lately for some reason. Okay, I think I'm gonna put a little bit of Rumbling Elephants on the outer corner. I don't want it to get too smoky, but I don't know. I feel like I need something to go with the zebra shade because I really want to use that one. If you guys have any other suggestions of what you want to see on my channel, please let me know, because I feel like I'm seeing a lot of the same content on my timeline at least, and it's not really like, some of the videos I enjoy watching and some of the concepts I enjoy watching aren't ones that I would want to create, if that makes sense. So I'm just not really sure what to create and post, but I know that I really want to get back into filming and posting. My dog is on the couch and she's getting comfy. Okay, girl. But sometimes I just don't exactly know like what I want to film. I'm going back into the shade Towering Giraffes, which is the lightest matte shade, and just blending it. I feel like my skin is just so dry lately that it's getting a little bit patchy. I don't think it's the shadows though. I really think it's just my eyes. They've been very dry. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's very plain and simple, but I want to use this Migrating Zebra shade, which is like the nice marbled one that I feel like everyone has talked about, but I feel like I haven't seen very many people actually use. So I'm just going to tap this on. I'm not going to use my NYX glitter glue. I know you're probably surprised, but I kind of want it to be like a wash of color instead of being super foiled and opaque, which it definitely could be. Like, here's a swatch of it. It definitely could be very, very opaque, but I kind of want to do it just like that. Like, very light. I'll turn my brightness down so you can see a little bit better what the shadow looks like, but just very light and kind of spread out a little bit more. So I think it could look really pretty though if either you spray this with setting spray or just put on a little bit more, or especially if you used the glitter glue. I really like this palette though. I will say I don't think I'll use the lime green much. I did use it in my reel, but I don't know, that's just a personal preference, but I do like that it's in here because with all the other greens, it is nice to have that option if you do want something a little bit more kind of fun and colorful. But I feel like for me, this palette, like I want to see like a pink tone neutral palette. I know I just was like, I want a neutral palette and I'm so excited about this one. But now I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, give me more. I want the pink toned neutral palette now. So outside of that, as far as like the color story goes for what the theme is, of course it's on par, it's perfection. Nomad does such a good job with their themes. I would have liked to see one shimmer shade that was just like lighter but not green. So kind of like this sort of a tone and color, but no, that doesn't make sense. This sort of a brightness but not green. Like, I really like this gold shade here. I feel like it, or like rose gold, I feel like it grounds the palette. I like that this one is silver. It's unique. I feel like it doesn't quite go in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, it's different. It's not the same as what everything else is. But for me, I would have liked to have one like pretty light shimmer shade that I could use in the front part of my lid just to be a little bit lighter. I thought this shade here was going to be a little bit more of like a cool tone green. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, obviously it's a warm tone, but it has like a gold yellow flip to it, which I think I've seen in several green shades, especially in the Profusion Harvest palette. Let me show you. I think when I saw this palette, I thought that that green shimmer shade was going to look more like this one from the Persona Identity palette called Bombshell. The shade's called Bombshell. It's just, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to swatch them next to each other, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I really thought the tone was going to be more like that, which I would wear every day. And I'm not saying you can't wear this one every day. This one is Keystone Termites, but this isn't the type of shade that I would choose to wear every day just because of that kind of gold flip to it. It's very pretty though. So this is the one from Persona, and then this is the one from Nomad. So I guess I just thought it was going to be a little bit more like the Persona one, but has a lot of gold to it. So for me, it would have been a little bit more of a perfect palette if it had just been, that one would have been different, and then if it would have had like a lighter shimmer shade. But hopefully you guys can see like what I'm talking about. It's more so the flip, because like when it doesn't have the flip and it's like the base color, it's very similar, but it has just like a very gold flip to it. And I think a lot of Nomad shades are kind of like that, where it has like the flip, but it's really just personal preference. I feel like there's one in here. I don't know. So that's another thing. This is the America's Parks palette from them. And I will say that the look I created with this in the reel that I posted yesterday, I feel like looked like I might have created it with this one. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, but I do love this one has more neutral shades in it. I really love this light matte row right here. I think it's perfect, and I could definitely see myself using the two of these together. The America's Parks palette is still my favorite Nomad palette. I love this one. I really need to use it more. Yeah, but I feel like honestly, the two of these like combined would be my perfect palette. But I would really love to see a more pink tone one come out. And then I feel like my Nomad collection would be like very, very well rounded with colors and neutrals, warm tones, cool tones, lots of greens and kind of warm tone browns. I want some like pinky browns and pink mauve tones maybe. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. But I really do like this palette. I think with Nomad, you can't go wrong. I think it mostly just comes down to the color story and what you like. I was gonna curl my lashes, but my lash curler is across the vanity. I've got a light in the way, so that's fine. I'm gonna leave a look at this since I said it was gonna be a pretty everyday sort of look. I feel like to me, this is an everyday look. So I'm gonna use that Tower 28 mascara. But yeah, I feel like with Nomad, there's just, I will say that Tokyo palette did not work out for me. Something about the formula just didn't work for me at all. But every other palette that I've tried from them, like the formula's been consistent and I've had no problems with them. The Province palette just wasn't really like my color story after I'd had it for longer and realized that it wasn't my color story, but everything about it was fine. It was just like my preference. But the America's Parks palette, the Cartagena palette, and the Iceland palette are so good. And then I really like this one. I feel like especially with their newer palettes, you really just can't go wrong with their formula, but it just comes down, like I said, to the color story. I do like to give, you know, my honest and as complete as possible feedback. I'm still testing this palette. I don't feel like I can say 100% like this is the best one yet or something, you know. It's not really like that. I feel like their formula is just consistent. So no matter what my opinion is on it, if you are obsessed with this color story, then I feel pretty confident saying that you will really love this one. Yeah, I feel like just a couple of the shimmer shades are a little bit different than what I was wanting, but that is completely personal preference. And lately I've also been into very, very neutral looks. So yeah, I used to get a little bit more creative with my looks, especially like it's job dependent too during the week. And where I work now is just more of a professional setting. I'm not saying that colorful makeup is unprofessional, but I'm just saying that for me, and especially too, like I want to go with the clothes that I'm wearing, and a lot of the clothes that I have are neutral, so I like to just like lean into that, I guess. I'm gonna use this e.l.f. brow pencil. I'm just honestly trying to use this up. I do not like this. I'm just not a brow pencil person. I much prefer the brow like felt tip markers. What are you guys watching on Hulu or Netflix? We have been watching the newest season, or the newest episodes of Manifest. I don't know. We do like that show, but dang, they just throw some curveballs. So, I don't know. They just came out with part 2 of the final season. Like, this is going to be the season finale. I mean, the show finale. Like, this is it. So, we're watching the last few episodes. We'll probably watch another 1 or 2 tonight. Yeah, do you guys watch that? What do you think? Don't put any spoilers in the comments, though. Sometimes the plot twist that they throw and what they do, I'm like, what were y'all thinking? I don't know. Okay, so this was the NYX brow marker. Y'all, I'm so not used to filming anymore. I like forgetting to tell you what I'm using. This is the Lift and Snatch brow marker, and it's in the shade Ash Brown. I really love that product so much. Now, this is making me want to use the Nomad palette. I love that green shade in there. I do really like green shades. I just typically like more of that shade that I mentioned for every day, but I do really like green shades. I think because my eyes are green, it's fun to use those in it or on my eyes, but that's pretty much it. Let me just pick a lipstick. And again, I've got lip products I'm trying to use up. I've got these 2 little baby lip pencils. I think I'll use this one. This is KKW Beauty Nude 1. I'm gonna be so sad when I use this up because I really love this and I can't get it anymore. Whoops, because it's not a brand. Okay, I feel like that just like blended in my lips because I had that foundation on it. And I'm gonna use this lipstick from Koki. This one's in the shade Hazelnut Cream. It's like a warm tone neutral lipstick. And then I just topped it with a gloss from Kaja in the shade Milk Tea. All right, that's gonna be it. I'm not even gonna worry about setting spray because I don't need it to last. And I feel like it's glowy enough, so I don't really want like a glowy look. I feel like this is a pretty unique everyday look to what I would usually do, especially because of the warmth of the whole look and then the silver on the lid. I'm actually really liking it. I wasn't sure how I was going to like how the silver was, but I like it. I feel like it looks interesting. Like it's not just like a standard, you know, champagne sort of color on the lid, which is kind of what I was wanting to see in the palette, like what I was mentioning earlier, but that just goes to show that sometimes using the shade out of your comfort zone ends up being good. So I'm really excited with this. You guys will have to let me know what you think about the silver kind of paired with the warmer tones, but I'm really enjoying this so far. I don't really have like a ton to say about it yet because I feel like I just want to use this some more before I give any final thoughts on the palette, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this chatty get ready with me. It ended up being a lot chattier than I thought it was going to be, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Thank you guys again for suggesting videos on my Instagram page and for voting on the palette that I used today. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing the look I created with it, even though it is a little bit more simple, but I feel like that just makes sense with a more neutral palette launch. But thank you guys for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys being here and supporting my channel throughout everything, whether it be my break or all of the loss that we've been going through. So I just really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.